Hello fellow World of Warcraft fans, welcome back to a new video on my channel. This time it's about the new sparks, the sparks of the tides. For those who are new to WoW and might not know this, you need these sparks to get the best crafted gear, meaning gear made through professions. And normally you can get 2 of them in the current week. After that, it's 1 per week and you need 2 of these sparks to craft a regular item. You need 4 to make a two-handed weapon out of it. So now it's like this. The thing is limited to 2 sparks this week. However, not for certain players and certain characters who meet specific conditions. They can already get the 3rd spark this week, and thus, next week, when the season starts, reach 4 sparks. And thus, they could already craft their 2nd crafted epic or a two-handed weapon. That's pretty strong. I'll show you how it all works in this video and what you need to do for it. Let me say in advance, I'm not 100% sure if this is actually intended by Blizzard. I would say yes and no. So it's not 100% pure bug abuse. Because the quest that gives you the 3rd spark has been in the game for the entire 1st season, and it was supposed to give you a spark as well. However, I could imagine that this might not be the case with this season. So all in all, I would say it's pretty safe if you do this. In my opinion, you have nothing to worry about. However, I could imagine that Blizzard might hotfix this, or maybe has unfortunately already hotfixed it by the time you see this video. You can't always completely rule that out. When you make videos and you're not around every day, I've been working a lot these past few days, that's why. I just wanted to mention it. Feel free to give it a try. If it works, good for you, then you'll have a little success to celebrate next week. If not, it's not the end of the world. So basically, it's still the case that you can get these sparks through weeklies in Silvermoon. And usually it's also mentioned in the quests. For which quests you get these? Specifically, it's these 2 quests that Verisa and Liadrin offer you. So one of them is to track Xalatath. And for the other one, you can basically choose what you have to do for it. This week there was the option to just run through a dungeon. You can find the quest givers here at 4965. The whole thing is pretty nice. Just go there and pick up the quests. For one of the weekly quests, as I said, I chose to just complete a dungeon. I combined that with the weekly dungeon quest Murder Alley. Zap Zap Zarab. You get 1500 reputation. Or rather, 1000 reputation. And you also get a spark. I got the second one after that. For the achievement. Or for the quest, not for the achievement, where you follow Xalatath. You can complete this quest through many different activities. For example, delves, dungeons, raid bosses, whatsoever. You need to collect 100 particle fragments. And for example, if you run a Mythic Zero dungeon, each boss gives you 15 of these little particles. Since I would have run Mythic Zero dungeons in the first week anyway, it was pretty easy to get this done. So, that's how you get the 2 sparks that are guaranteed this week.
Even worse.
And they're also 100% legit, if you want to put it that way. There's nothing to doubt about that. And those are ultimately the quests you'll do in the following weeks. Have to do, can do, should do, whatever, to get those sparks again. As a little tip, I would recommend this to you at this point. Even if you already have enough sparks to craft something this week, I still wouldn't do it. But rather wait until next week when you have access to, for example, Shit, I should have interrogated the dude, right? And not just killed him. So, next week, when you have access to heroic or mythic crests, only then would I craft. So, in my case, I'm going to fully farm the mythic crests and then craft the item directly as mythic. It is theoretically possible that you could get the maximum amount of champion crests this week and then use them to craft an item. Or you just craft it on normal. And next week, as soon as you have the heroic crests, you upgrade it again. But in the end, you'll have to recraft for that. That costs extra resources again. And in my opinion, it's not worth it. It doesn't cost you much extra gold, but it's still not worth it. So get your best crests in that case. Only craft then and you'll save a lot of gold. And yes, that brings us to the third spark, because as it's currently written, you get it through this quest. When you've leveled a character to 90, you'll get in Silver Moon, right in the center, this quest where you're required to complete the activities in World of Warcraft Midnight. So, in other words, all the world events that the game has to offer. You should do for this quest, if you've already played your character through the whole expansion, you will have already completed this quest. But if you've just leveled up an alt, for example, why can't I interrogate this dude? If you've just leveled up an alt to level 90, then you still have this quest. So just complete the quest and you'll get another spark from it. That's basically the third one, and with that you're good to go for this week. Yeah, and that's really all there is to it. Here too, I'll be honest, I'd probably even use this on alts. So I'd do the whole thing. Yeah. Then next week get your fourth one, and for example, go in, get yourself mythic crests and heroic crests. Then you would already have a very, very good mythic item and a heroic item to go with it. That's definitely not bad, but as I said, if you can, try to keep these crafting tips in mind. It doesn't make sense right now to use up your sparks if you don't have any crests for them. It's just gold. Which is unnecessary taken from you. But anyway, with that being said, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Have a good time and take care.